The Chesington branch of the South Western Railway opened in sections from 1938 to 1939, with its terminus station being Chesington South. The line that we know it as today was meant to continue further on from Chesington South over to Leatherhead, and in fact Chesington South station was built as a through station, meaning that it was never intended to be a terminus station. I don't know how well you can see it, but from the station building you can see where the proposed footbridge was that was going to go over onto the now disused platform. It's just where that little blue door is. But no, it's just stuck in time. So what happened? Well, let's see, what major event happened in 1939? What was one big thing that happened then? I'm going to give you half a second. Okay, so World War II happened, and so that did put a stop to all developments, including railway developments, such as the extension from Chesington South to the Leatherhead. Alright, so World War II happened, so why was it that since the war had ended, why is it that that extension has still not taken place yet? Well, let's talk about that. So one of the biggest caveats since the war that prevented the extension from Chesington South to Leatherhead was the green belt. The woodland that was protected by the green belt was Ashstead Common, which, as we know it as today, is Jubilee Wood or Epsom Common. So that's one caveat out of the way. But the second caveat was the sewers. There's always the mantra of build it and they will come, and the same thing is applied to the railways, where when you build a new railway line or a new station, the subsequent effect of that is that housing is always built. Some of the key components to housing is, of course, water, gas, electricity and sewer systems. And Southern Railway, who were responsible for developing the line in the first place, said that they would not be in a position to pay any money in terms of upgrading the sewer systems or the water treatment plants or anything like that. They wanted to put that all onto the council and to the developers, and it just wasn't feasible. And in fact, this was something that they went back and forth on for quite a long time, even prior to the development of World War II. And so that begs the question, if this was built as a through station, then surely there must be other remnants along the way here. It doesn't just stop here, right? Well, let's find out. At Chesington Station, if you go to the bridge over the railway line, you can see that the line sort of continues on, doesn't it? And it would have continued over to this spot here where I am at Chalky Lane, where just behind me is the embankment that would have carried the railway line right over me. And in fact, there used to be a railway bridge that was here to connect the two embankments together. I believe it was dismantled sometime in the 1980s, but it is fascinating to come to this spot here to look at the former embankment of what would have carried the Chesington South to Leatherhead Railway. Just another mark of London's rich rail history. So, the more you know. So it's day 7 of running the London Railmap, and it is day 3 of running South Western Railway. I recently sat off from Motspur Park, where I was stuck at yet another level crossing. For this route today, we're heading over to Chesington South. We're going to be calling at Malden Manor, Tolworth, Chesington North and Chesington South. Now it's about 9 kilometres from Motspur Park to Chesington South. Like I mentioned earlier, so the Chesington branch had opened between 1938 to 1939. It's actually some of the newest section of rail on the South Western Railway network. So I anticipate a lot of this route today is just going to be mostly around housing and whatnot. Let's see what there is to discover along the way. I can't do a Scottish accent. Let's see what's on the way. Just come across this sign here, and I thought there was like this owl sanctuary that I didn't know about when I was doing my research. Was that owls here? Like, what are they talking about? And then I realised it's not owls here. It means play bowls here. It's a bowling club. I really did want to see some owls, man. What the hell? Right, sick. So here we are, 2.3 kilometres from here at Malden Manor. You know, a lot of the stations on this branch line from here to Chesington South, they all follow a similar architectural design. It's because they are mostly designed with a concrete structure. Southern Railway, when they had built this, had done so on a budget, and so that's why you'll find for the majority of stations along here will have a very similar looking layout. bang on 4 kilometres we're here at Tolworth, and do you know what, a lot of it I kind of predicted what it was going to be. It's just going to be mostly around housing and whatnot. I haven't really seen like many green spaces, I've not really seen many parks other than like Manor Park, but other than that it's just been roads and housing. So already we've only got 2 stations left. We've got Chesington North and Chesington South. That was really quick. I was not expecting it to be done that quickly. Seems like as if there are a lot of things happening around Tolworth. There's a little apartment office space thing that's taking place. Looks like there's a brand new Premier Inn that's there too. So right now we're passing through Tolworth Court Farm Park, I think this is, which is a pleasant sight to see. Oh, just look at the view there, absolutely stunning. 7 kilometres, Chesington North. What I found quite interesting about this station building compared to the last few that I've looked at, before they had a concrete kind of architectural build to them, but this one here is made of brick. So Chesington South is our next and final station, but once I get there, I don't think I'm going to stop my run because, well, you'll see in a bit. Just like that, 8.2 kilometres, we're here at Chesington South. But I've not stopped my watch just yet, because what is it that's in this vicinity that maybe I can explore? Just what I can appreciate is just, it's the silence. I just hear yeah, this is lovely. Like, even though this constitutes as being a part of London, being here, having this amazing view, this doesn't feel like you're in London. I know I didn't film too much from Mott's Park to Chesington South, mainly because it was just like buildings, roads, housing. I don't know, there wasn't really much to document, especially from the historical standpoint. I didn't really see much. However, to come to this spot here and see this amazing green space in the vicinity of Chesington South has made it all the worthwhile. I'm so glad that I incorporated this into my route today. I'd have been disappointed had I not included this, because yeah, just that route was just buildings, roads, like, yeah, there wasn't really much else to it. Aside from the green spaces that are in the vicinity of Chesington South, there was no way that I couldn't mention what's also in the vicinity of Chesington South. This behind me is none other than Chesington World of Adventures theme park, which from what I understand is like a seasonal theme park, because you have all of the rides and everything that's open mostly during like the spring and summer, but then the zoo that's in this place, Chesington Zoo, is open all year round. However, around this time of year they do have like a winter, like Santa themed kind of events that take place throughout December. So if it is something that you're interested in, Chesington World of Adventures. And no, they did not pay me. I think if they paid me, I would have done a better job at delivering that. Prior to it being the established theme park and zoo that it is today, is that it did in fact used to be a zoologist centre. I think that was sometime in the 1900s, and even before that it used to be a lodge. It is closed today, but it just feels like an abandoned park. I've not seen one other person. I'm literally the only person in this area, at least to my knowledge anyway. It is really weird just to be in the vicinity of a theme park where, you know, you would associate it with being like proper loud and like all things happening, and there's just silence. It kind of reminds me of when I was running the Piccadilly line, and it was around the time when Terminal 4 had closed, and just to be around there and have it as just like completely dead, it's, yeah, very unusual. And you can definitely tell next to the zoo now it smells of shit. What have been some interesting tidbits that you know about this area? Maybe there was something that you know that I don't, that maybe there was something that I didn't look at. Anything at all, let me know down below. And just like that, we're back at Chesington Station. Course complete, perfect timing. So in total that was 12.81 kilometers, not bad going. That was such a lovely run. I think for the start bit, well, pretty much for like the entire way I was a bit uninspired, but then to do that little loop around made everything worthwhile. I'm very glad I did that. I want to say a massive thank you to my Patreons for supporting this channel. If you do want to support me, check out the link in the description, runderground.run, as well as my merch site that is on there as well. On that note, thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt and you've been watching Runderground. Take care.